What's going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm hyped to share this one with you guys. Scrypt mining has been popping off. Bitcoin is almost at $90,000, and Scrypt has been a saving grace for us crypto miners. So without further ado, let's unbox the ELPHAPEX DG1 Plus Home. The brand new ELPHAPEX DG1 Plus Home. Look at this thing, guys. Right on, I guess this is considered the back. It's got the shiny black with the ELPHAPEX logo. I think this is like our serial number. It's kind of weird spot for the sticker for that. And then we do have an antenna Wi-Fi port. No antenna here, by the way, but my understanding is it does support Wi-Fi. TF card, USB port, fault and normal, IP report, reset, Ethernet port, and our typical power connection there, which is awesome. I love the design, how it kind of has this like mesh all through it. I mean, take a look at the top here. You can actually get a sneak peek down inside there. We're gonna go ahead and open this up and take a look inside before we actually power it up. Look at this, I guess this is the front, maybe it's considered the back. That looks really slick. We got ELPHAPEX down the side here with the logo. Let's see, this side's got the ELPHAPEX logo there and the full name. And then let's put this on its side here. I'm not sure if there's like supposed to be like it. Okay, so with the feet on the bottom, we assume this is the bottom on this side then. I wasn't sure like if it needs to be laid down or upward. And then we do have, take a look here, power supplies on the bottom. We do have more mesh, and it looks like they left this little IP sticker on the bottom. IP 182, most likely for their QA and testing. So let's take off a side panel. I think this is it, and let's see what's inside. All right, 10 screws later. There was 3 across here, 3 across the back, 2 on the bottom, and 2 on the top. And let's get this opened up here. Oh, moment of truth. Take a look at that. All right, so a lot going on here. So let's do a little rundown here. So we have almost our control board here. We then have our typical fan connections here that run off to different fans that we have. We then have the radiator on the front of the unit with our fans most likely pushing air through it. I mean, there's so much cooling available in this case, it's pretty wild. Now we do have our pump up here, and you can actually see the pump is actually, you can see it's coming off of the top of our radiator, flowing through and actually going. Let's see if I can lift this up here. Let me pull my chair over. Let's take a closer look, shall we? So take a look, it's almost got the block on the back of this ASIC on this side. Trying to see, there's another one that runs down over there. Wow, this is pretty wild. Like, what a really cool design. So it looks like we have one total hash board. I'm taking a guess here that we do have in place. We have a heat sink on this side. So it's almost like a hybrid because it's got the heat sink on this side. And this is me taking a guess. If you guys have better guesses, please leave them directly down below. But it looks like on one side, it is like traditional heat sink, and on the other side is actually the cooling block, and then everything flows up through here. Now let's look like, take a look at the power. So like this is our power supply here, and I'm trying to look down in there. It does input of 100 to 240, which is cool. And it actually, if you take a look, I don't know if you guys can see it back in here. You see the red cable there? It's like just got one going right into the hash board there. So instead of like a bus bar or anything, and then another one back in here. Look, we have our ribbon cable that goes right from our control board into the unit. And look, it almost has a second port available to support that. It does have also this cable. I don't know if this is I assume this is probably a power cable that's running from here up into our actual pump, because I'm not seeing any other power cables up here into the pump. This is it, which is coming right off of the actual control board. It looks like we have almost, maybe I'm taking guesses here, signal cable going to the power supply, as well as a 6-pin, which is pretty traditional, going into our control board. And then there's another power cable here. it looks like this power cable here that we see actually runs to the front of the board over on this side. Pretty wild. I'm just kind of trying to figure this out, figure out everything that's in here, but this is a very cool design, and I honestly cannot wait to get this powered up. So maybe I took some guesses here, maybe some mistakes were made. Please let me know down in the comments below. It looks like, I don't know if this is flimsy. I don't think so. That's pretty strong. I thought maybe it was bowed a little bit, but it looks pretty dang good. So let me get the side of this case on and let's get this thing powered up. All right, all back together. We are going to go ahead and test out the sound to see how loud it actually is, because I know a lot of people are interested in putting this in living rooms or bedrooms based off of how quiet it is. So we'll go ahead and do a test on that. Also on the temps, I want to go ahead and take a look at the temps to see how hot this thing actually gets on the top and on the sides of this unit to make sure, like, is this something you're going to want to put in a living room or in a bedroom? So I have set up a watt meter. So huge shout out to Mr. Mad Electron. I got this my first year into mining. He actually sent it to me. So shout out to him. And I added it to my test bench here. So right now it is plugged into the wall with the black cable, and this yellow cable we are going to go ahead and plug into our miner. So we'll get our watts, we'll get our sound, and also our temperature. So let's get this plugged in here. Ethernet is good. And here is our power. And I can hear, oh, I definitely heard the pump going real quick in this unit. And then it got super quiet. I don't hear anything quite yet. So let me give this a few minutes. I'll check to make sure it's online and I'll be back. All right, so I went ahead and found the IP address on my router, made it real easy. It's actually called DG1 Home, so that makes it nice and easy to identify. Loaded up the dashboard, and here's what we're looking at. Now, I have gone ahead and added in my pool settings for the sake of time, and so I'll show you those in just a minute. But the dashboard is exactly like the DG1 and the DG1 Plus that I have currently. I wish they would add in dark mode. Come on! Needs a little toggle in the top corner, but other than that, it looks great. Very similar to what I'm used to seeing. So let's go down the left-hand side here. So on the miner side, I did set this up on Mining Dutch. I'm going to wait for this to go ahead and load. Shout out to Red Panda Mining for recommending this. I've really enjoyed Mining Dutch, slowly getting my miners over there more and more. IP settings here, you can see MAC address, IP address, which is nice on the unit. You can change your host name. You can also set static if you're interested. There is an update feature here. I did check. There's no update for firmware, anything like that quite yet. You can go ahead and set your password. You can set your NTP server if you're interested. There is a visible log, which is great. Happy and thrilled to see that. And then we do have our Wi-Fi settings in here as well, which is fantastic. So it is currently turned off. I can turn it on, and then I can go ahead and also select my Wi-Fi. I'm not going to use that for this video. Do have it blurred out currently for now, just for security's sake, but there is an option there for it, and we can use it if we're interested. So I did set this up on Mining Dutch. I'm going to go ahead and let this mine for about 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to come back. We're going to take a look at the hash rate, not only on the miner, but also on the pool side. We're going to take a look at the watts of the wall. We're going to take a look at the dB meter, as well as the temps on the unit. So stay tuned. All right, we've been running for 30 minutes currently right now, and it's been running beautifully. So let's take a look at some of our metrics. So for power, we're running into our watt meter. It did go as high as about 670, but it has gone ahead and leveled off, and it's down to about 633. We'll go ahead and call it. Now, this isn't at 240, so we'll have to go ahead and maybe set it up on 240 in a future video and see what that ends up doing. But for 630, that's awesome. So taking a look at our temps here, just a quick test with our hand. There's no warmth on this side, nothing on this side, nothing on the top, a little bit of cool you can feel, and nothing. Oh, actually this side's a tiny bit warm, but barely anything. Now where most of that warmth is on this side where the fans are blowing this way, and you can definitely feel it. You know, it's pushing all that hot air out this side. So let's take a look at our dB meter first on the exhaust side. So about 52, 53. It honestly just sounds like a simple hum. It's not much distraction at all. You could run that easily in a bedroom. You can see this side's a little bit quieter, 47, 48. Now, this side you can definitely put your hand on. It's not like an ice river where it's boiling, but it is kicking out heat. I mean, it's starting to heat up my office here, which is to be expected. If we go ahead and stick this on the outside of the case, 106, 115, trying to keep it on the outside, 117, and 115. So it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely, this is going to heat a room, absolutely 100%. So it does not put out zero amount of heat. There is still a decent amount of heat. I mean, it's kicking off a pretty good amount there. So 633 watts is what we said. We're about 634 right now. Let's go over to the computer, take a look at the hash rate, not only on the miner, but also on the pool side, and let's crunch some numbers on profitability. All right, so taking a look on the miner side first. Real-time hash rate says 1.6, but I'll be honest, I've seen this as high as 3.4. Now, the average hash rate, which is really what we really want to look at, is 2.1 over the last, you can see 32 minutes. And look at that, the real time just jumped up to 2.2. So when we jump over to mining Dutch, let's go ahead and refresh that here. You know, it just reflected the 1.6 or 1.5 that we saw. And we do see it upwards of 2 on the pool. I've seen it as high as about 2.5 actually on the pool as we go ahead and refresh it. Now we're up to 1.6. So I'm going to base my numbers off of the 2.1 here. I think that's going to make a little bit more sense. I'm surprised how much it's fluctuating. I would imagine a firmware update in the future will help to stabilize that a little bit. It's not fluctuating to the point where like I'm concerned, because I've seen as high as 3.4, as I said, and as low as that 1.6. Now, when we look at ASIC miner value and refresh this, we're at 10 cents currently right now, and it's saying we're only making about $4.77 a day. I don't think that's accurate. Now it's at 2 gigahash at 620 watts is what it's basing it off of. So let's jump over to what to mine, and we're going to do it at 2.1 and 634 is what we're going to do it at 10 cents and hit calculate. So that's putting us at $8.39 a day, which is more realistic, I feel like. The cost is $1.52 a day. So we're making per day $6.87, which is fantastic. So the nice thing is this miner is doing pretty dang good. $48 a month at the current rate and $206.10 per month. So the ELPHAPEX DG Home 1. This unit is absolutely awesome. For those of you guys that are looking for a home scrypt miner, this is by far, as of today, November 12th, the best home scrypt miner out there. And it absolutely helps that Dogecoin is going through the roof right now in the current situation. I mean, to give you guys some context, Bitcoin is right on the cusp of $90,000 and Dogecoin is following this trend amazingly. So I would highly recommend this unit. Very profitable right now. You know, it's going to help you out if you'd love to get an L7, but just don't have the environment to run it. This is absolutely the next best thing. Efficiency is right on point, running at this 2.1 at 630 watts. And honestly, the price is really competitive, $1,599. I'll leave a link to this directly down below and a contact person at ELPHAPEX who has given me their info to hand out to you guys if you have more questions, comments, and concerns about this unit. So this thing is absolutely sick. So thrilled to be getting this super early. Huge shout out to the team over at ELPHAPEX for sending me one of the first ones out in the wild here. Go over, check it out. More details directly down below. Guys, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.